y'all? Welcome to Good Follow, presented by DraftKings. I'm Ros Logan, and I am here with my co-host, with my girl, Logan Hackett. Logan, how are you, my love?
I'm great. How are you?
Girl, you know, I am fantastic. You want to know why?
Why?
Well, you know, when I ordered these bells, I said it would be for special occasions. And some people on the team laughed. They were like, why do you need bells? Well, here we are with another special occasion. We hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yes, we're selling that. This time was quick, right, Logan? Jeez, it was a quick turnaround from 1,000.
Right? I feel like we were just saying thank you for 1,000, but y'all, thank you for 2,000.
Thank you for 2,000. We are, trust me, every single person, every one of you matters and means so much. It's really exciting to have, people tune in on YouTube, to spread the word, to comment, to like, to follow. To those of you who are new here, welcome. And to those of you who have been watching for a few episodes now, thank you. We've really, been building this from the ground up. We relaunched this and kind of started this 3.5 months ago. And, we're building, and it's hard to do it, but it is so rewarding to do this. So the road to 3K begins now, right, Logan?
Yep, it does.
Well, actually, the road to our show today begins right now. We've got a great lineup for you. Here's what we're discussing on today's show. We are forecasting a few of this season's WNBA breakout players. Who's breaking out this season? And then the ripple effects from the WNBA draft. Also, what Trinity Rodman's injury means for the NWSL. And stay for the game. We're playing a game. We're building our own WNBA all-motion teams. Which WNBA players have had the most off-court motion, visibility, and bag securing this offseason? And then, of course, don't go anywhere, because we've got a great interview with someone who's been a friend to the show, but we're really going to sit down and get to know her. Our girl, Monique Billings of the Golden State Valkyries.
And again, y'all, thank you so much for subscribing, commenting, liking, following the socials, clicking all the buttons. And new episodes drop every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So y'all better tap in. But Ros, you ready for this show?
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Well, we're still a couple weeks away from truly being able to break down the upcoming WNBA season, but I want to kind of dip our toe in the water with some players we think are primed for a breakout season. So, Ros, let's start over in the East. Who do you have breaking out this season?
I got my eye on Napheesa Collier. She could be a really important piece for the New York Liberty, who lost a lot of key pieces as they try to run back this championship. Tasha's leaned into being a dog. They're going to need that with Dijonai Hamilton, injured, and also losing Kayla Thornton. They lost players who brought grit, who could also defend, and Napheesa can bring that. Losing Courtney Vandersloot is huge. That is one of the great point guards of a generation, and a backup to Sabrina. And so now Napheesa can come in and either play with her, maybe push Sabrina off the ball sometimes, or come in and continue to run the offense for the team. And Napheesa likes to say, I'm more than D. I got that offense too. Come in and don't be bashful. Be ready to knock it down. There's going to be some open looks with all that star power around her. And another player I wanted to bring up was Shakira Austin for the Washington Mystics. Her biggest thing, and this is a young player, is that she's been injured so much. In the last 2 seasons, she only played 31 games, but I got to see her up close and personal in Unrivaled, and just her size, her strength, her mobility, her unique skill set was really able to shine in a 3-on-3 format where there's all that space. So I just hope she's able to translate it and stay healthy this season, because she has tremendous upside. And I love Shakira's personality. She's just so willing to be publicly vulnerable and accountable and tell you when she's good and when she's bad. I think that's healthy for her team. What about you, Logan, out of the East?
Well, Shakira is like a quiet dog, but actually on the same team, my first player is Aaliyah Edwards, aka the Canadian Queen, but actually aka the unrivaled 1v1 champ. She beat so many players along the way, and I think that was the first time you really saw her excel. Yeah. But I feel like she expanded her game in Unrivaled, and with that, she was able to build up her confidence. And I mean, she is on a team where she's able to thrive, especially with a younger and more dynamic team around her. But as long as they use her in a correct way, I think her minutes will definitely go up. She'll bring a ton to the table and definitely be able to break out this season.
I was going to say, I love that pick for you. I see you going with your Canadians there.
Oh yeah.
And she really showed us what she could do in that one-on-one tournament, making it all the way to go up against Fee. So it was really awesome.
Yeah, I really, really hope that she does well. They obviously broadcast it here and everything, so we'll watch her every move. But the other player I have is Alicia Gray, and she was Rookie of the Year in 2017, has been All-Star the past 2 years, but I feel like she's entering her prime both on and off the court. Might be recency bias because I've seen her everywhere lately, but in Unrivaled, she averaged 19.1 points, 5.5 rebounds, and I love her dynamic with Ryan. I feel like they've gotten a lot more closer maybe during Unraveled or in the past few months, but as a guard duo, they're going to be lethal.
Yeah, I think that entire dream team got really close during Unrivaled. Don't forget Jordan Canada and Ryan Howard literally like holding hands at Unrivaled. And then the love they showed for Brittany Griner. That's going to be a squad that already likes each other. And I feel you. Like, also, the more we see of Alicia Gray, like the more we love of her. I just can't get over her personality too.
Yes, and her accent, the twang to it, I'm
You got
obsessed.
that
But
twang.
let's move on to the West. Rose, who are you picking to have a breakout season there?
You know, we talked a little bit about Unrivaled, but we also got to look to Athletes Unlimited, these two off-season leagues that are great at development. Both of the players I'm pointing out, Maddie Siegrist and Lexi Brown, played in Nashville at AU this summer. And I thought, first of all, shout out to the champion. Maddie Siegrist was the AU champion, and she's trending up. She's growing in confidence. You know, this she'll come back to Dallas this year. And last year, she got an uptick in minutes, which led to an uptick in production. She was being talked about potentially for most improved. And that's with her missing a chunk of the season with a finger injury. So now she can come back with this confidence, with this growth, hopefully with health. And I think there's room for her to establish herself as a top option for Dallas. And she's only heading into her third season. I do want to show love to my girl, Lexi Brown, heading into Seattle. She's got a lot of heart and resilience, and she's had a public battle with Crohn's disease, and she's a fighter. And a lot of the gaps in her career or ups and downs have been things out of her control, and she continues to fight for it. And I think, she admitted that being traded to Seattle came as a surprise to her. I think her toughness and the respect that she gets will help her fit in Seattle. And boy, does Seattle need Lexi Brown shooting. Like the Storm were dead last in 3-point percentage shooting last season in the W. They shot like 28%. Well, when Lexi has consistent minutes and an opportunity to like really get comfortable, she's been a great 3-point shooter. In 2022 and 2023, she shot about 40% from the three, and she's a career 36% 3-point shooter. So if she stays healthy and is able to, I think she can help them and find a nice role with Seattle. What about you?
I feel like health is going to be huge this season, but actually on that topic, I have Cam Brink, and I love a good comeback season, but I was kind of going through her numbers. She only played 14 games, had some pretty good games in there, but she had a chance to do what a lot of players haven't had the chance to do, which is spend time off the court studying the game. I mean, when players are playing, obviously they're in it, but it's completely different when you're outside. It's almost like she's getting a visualization.
Yeah.
And she's been able to kind of integrate herself in a different way. So it'll be really interesting to see how she comes into the Sparks and the duo with Rakia Jackson. Again, we have to mention that. I think it's going to be crazy good. But
Shoot, Rakia might have a breakout season too.
Oh yeah, the both of them, and I really think we're going to see Killa Cam, which I cannot wait. Killa Cam in the W is so much fun. But staying with Seattle too, Gabby Williams, we've seen her excel in the EuroLeague and playing overseas. She kind of reminds me of AZ Fudd in a way, but was the best defensive player of the Paris Olympics. With that said, we haven't really seen that play kind of in the W and on a consistent basis. But fun fact, she's the highest paid player on the Storm this season. So they're expecting a lot out of her. I think we're expecting a lot out of her, and I think she can do it this season.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see, Gabby and Cam and all these players, if they have, it's been an issue of either availability, maybe it might have been overseas contracts, it might have been injuries, it might have been health issues that have like kind of made these players stumble, but like with the right fit, that and also the right situation that can allow them to just be the best versions of themselves. So we're looking for a breakout.
I think we're going to see a ton this season.
A ton of breakouts.
Yeah. Coming up, Ross sits down with friend to the show, WNBA veteran Monique Billings of the brand new Golden State Valkyries. We'll be right back.
What's up, good follow? This is Ros Golden, and today we have an interview and a chance to chat with somebody that you guys have already seen. She's been on the show, she's been a co-host with us, she's a friend to the show. But today we're going to take a moment to get to know a bit more about her and her journey. We've got an 8-year WNBA veteran, a UCLA grad, most recently of the brand spanking new Golden State Valkyries, my girl, my friend, my little sis, Monique Billings. What's up, Mo?
What's up? First of all, thank you for the intro. I'm always happy to be on the Good Follow Show pod.
Absolutely, girl. You know, you've actually made our show so much better whenever you're on, like the energy changes because
Mm.
we actually created a segment for you, right? Setting our intentions with Mo.
Mhm.
So for this interview, I want to set intentions with you. Do you have some for this upcoming month?
I love that. Yeah, I mean, similar, I think, to the last time that I joined, just being present. There's so much going on in our lives. We were talking off air about our moving and traveling and all the things that we're doing. It could be hard to be right where our feet are. I'm here in the Bay Area now, about to embark on this new journey with my new team, which I'm so excited for. But I'm just really focused on being joyful through it, and joy comes being in the present. So that's what I am intentional about these days, being right where my feet are.
Yes, yes, present. And there's something to be said about like I've landed and set foot. I am physically present in the Bay, ready for the season. Training camp starts the 27th.
Yes, this Sunday
Oh my goodness. So much going on that weekend. 20,
coming.
27th camp, 28th my birthday. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Ah, it is birthday season. We're Taurus. This
Yes.
is
Yes. When is yours, Mo?
May 2nd.
Oh my God. Don't make me have to fly to the
Hmm.
Bay and do a little joint dinner or something.
I, I would love
I
that.
would do it. Don't even
Um,
play with me.
I know that birthday month is very reflective and like a time to not only set intentions, but like to take a moment for yourself. So, like, what is your intention going into your birthday week? I know this past season of life has been crazy in a good way for you. Like,
Mhm.
where are you at with everything?
Well, for this next season of life, I haven't even gotten up to that yet because it's been a big start to 2025. I feel very hopeful and enthusiastic about what's
Nice.
coming. And I feel like this is like a major like abundance segment, just the flow segment, like hitting flow state, just move, doubling down on the work and the grind you've already put in and seeing all of those hopes and dreams and efforts come to fruition. For me, an intention I'm setting though is kind of evaluating friendships and relationships in my life and making sure that those haven't stagnated and that we're still in a
Yeah.
growth space. And if not, what can I do to water those relationships or let some go, especially if it's not a two-way street? So a little bit of a what is being poured into me, an evaluation of that right now for my intentions. Um,
I love that.
Thank you, sis. But as far as like circles and pouring into others, we've always had that with each other. Mo, I remember you at UCLA when you were a college player balling out, Corey Close, and you were a huge part of building the legacy and like what UCLA basketball is right now. And I remember you, and like, this is why you're my little sis. I was working for
Yeah.
Pac-12 Networks. I was a broadcaster
Hmm.
covering you, and you were like, Roz, I really want to be a broadcaster one day, and I want to do what you're doing. And you didn't just walk it, you talked. I mean, you didn't just talk it, you walked it. Like, you actually came with me. Remember, you came with me to Lakers practice and shadowed me?
Of course. First of all, I was like enamored by you when I first met you because I'm like, who is this woman? She's doing all the things I want to do. Like she just flows from within and with that, like from outside too. And at the time, I'm probably like 18, 19 years old. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, fangirling.
Oh,
And you were so kind. It was at Pac-12 Media Day. And so from there, I was like, that's big sis. I need to learn from her because she's doing all the things that I want to do one day. And then, yeah, as the relationship grew, it's funny because like we started becoming friends, but you would interview me after the game. So it'd be like, hey, girl, where you get them shoes? Oh, okay, what you do? Like, you know what I mean? Like the relationship started to grow. And then, yeah, you invited me to that Lakers practice. And I, at the time, broke college student, took a Uber to get there. And I didn't even care how much it costed because I was like, this is such an opportunity. Like, I need to go, I need to be in the building. And you were always so kind and just gracious towards me. And it's nice that the friendship has continued to evolve because like a lot of times you hear about a young girl admiring someone and she wasn't kind to them or she kind of turned them down. No, you can't come to the Lakers practice with me. You were never like that. You were always real, always so kind and genuine, even to this day. So I'm forever grateful.
Mo, that really means a lot to me, to get that reflection from you. And you know, who all I knew was that you were a really great hooper, tenacious on the glass, you know, a great athlete, huge smile, and you were eager about broadcasting. Like, you know, I just wanted to, you know, show up. I had no idea that we would really become friends in the way that we are. Like, it's crazy the movement from little sis to like more recently. I'm like, yo, Mo's my real homegirl. Like, we really can talk about things.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I would do
Uh-huh.
those interviews with you at the Pac-12 networks, and literally I'd be waiting for them to send it to me, and you'd literally be like, "Oh, girl, I like your fit. Where you get your shoes from?" I'd be like, three, two,
Yeah.
one. Mo, what did you think about the effort you put on the boards? And then, so like that moment before we went live. But honestly, I'm so glad. I'm so proud of you because you had that vision for yourself to become a broadcaster. And look at you now. Not only are you a full-time incredible professional hooper and WNBA player, you are a blossoming broadcaster with real motion. I see you everywhere. Most recently, you were just covering March Madness. I'm worried
Yeah.
Goodfellow show, we're not going to be able to book you soon, girl. So can you break it down to me, like everything you're doing in broadcasting, and maybe what's your favorite part about building this career for yourself?
Yeah, oh my goodness. It's been a very fruitful off season. I've been broadcasting since 2019, but it was like I do a couple games and then go into my W season. It wasn't anything, I'm not going to say serious, but I just didn't have too many gigs, just getting my feet wet. But this season specifically, I really was able to do a lot of different work. And so I did, like you said, March Madness. I did my first NBA game with the Warriors. That was a lot of fun. Even like ESPN2 debut, which was super cool. Like all these vision board items are coming into fruition. And so, yeah, it's been amazing. And then I just hope that I can continue. Like if I can just do this in the off season and then play my W season, like that's perfect world for me.
You must be the queen of balancing a schedule and a calendar. Like, how are you doing that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, when you're passionate about it, like you make it happen. Like we are business women. We get it done, and that's just what it's about. So it's like making time for for the things that are important, but also finding that balance so you don't get burned out. So for me, I'm big on self-care. If I'm traveling to cover a game or do some type of production, I'm probably going to the spa the day before if I'm able to. I'm gonna go get my nails done. I'm gonna go get a facial. I'm gonna do something for me. And you talk about pouring into your cup. I'm gonna do something to pour into my cup because that's so important to me.
Yeah, yeah. And like I really enjoy and actually admire that about you. In some ways, you've been like kind of a mentor or the inspiration for how do I bring wellness into everything that I'm striving for. You know, because you be busy, but you also have that Zen side.
Yeah.
How did you find your voice and your passion for things like yoga or eating healthy? I know I've asked you a million times about eating healthy and just overall wellness. Where did you find that lane for yourself?
Yeah, I would say that lane comes from my dad. He was a big, I don't know, he gave me the starter pack, I would say, of how to build wellness in my life. He would always tell me mind, body, spirit. That's what you need to stay in alignment. And so from a young age, I was always hearing that and seeing him do it. I was seeing him eating healthy, but also having balance with that. So maybe 80% of the time, 90% of the time healthy, but every now and then we're going to go get a donut burger. We're going to go get a milkshake, and that adds to that balance. So it feels good to eat healthy because you know, like when you do eat that
Mhm.
grimy stuff, you know you've earned it. So I don't know, just the different factors. My dad has really poured that into me, and it's just so important to me now. I'm all about feeling good, and I want people around
Mhm.
me to feel good too. So I love sharing that information as much as I can.
Absolutely. I would like a picture next time you're eating a donut burger because I don't believe you. What? And
What?
also,
Oh,
a donut burger
actually,
sounds gross.
better than a picture, you're going to come with me next time I'm in LA.
Listen, if I had abs like you, I would have a donut burger too. But I, I am trying to get where you're at, sis. Like, you know,
I hear
remember we
you.
used to
I
take
hear you.
hikes together too?
I was gonna say, we'll go get a donut burger, we'll go hike. So it's
All
like it
right.
just balances
So it
out.
balances out. Hey, speaking of projects you're working on, you got something
Yeah.
cooking right now? I mean, what's going on here? I hear a buzz.
I do got something on the flame. I'm working with Players TV. I'm super excited. I can't say too much yet, but it has a lot to do with actually a lot of what we've talked about today, intention, balance, those sorts of things. I'm going to be in an interviewer role, which I'm really excited
Yes.
for. So yeah, stay tuned to that.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll flip the script. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But
I would love. Okay, yeah. We'll talk about
okay, soon come. A little tease there. Let's take it to another chapter of your career in life. You know, you've played all over the world outside of the
it.
WNBA in
Yeah.
the off season. You've played all over, most recently China, yes? And
Hmm.
and you left early.
I did.
Why? And can you share a bit about, where your thought process was as you came back from China?
Yeah, totally. So I've played in 10 countries now. This is my second time playing in China. First time I was a rookie, wet behind the ears, wide-eyed, 21 years old. And it was just a totally new experience for me. I didn't know what to expect overseas. I was there 4 months and it was cool. I was able to survive it. This time around, it was just a very different vibe. I'm going into year 8. So I understand how precious my body is. And it's not the same as that 21-year-old who can just run all day and not have to do as much recovery and not have to take as much time to rest. And so this time around, we're playing 3 times a week. It was very demanding. And my body was just like, sis, what are you trying to get from this? What are we doing? And I had to listen to that. Body started hurting, wasn't feeling great like it had when I first got there. And so I just had to weigh my options. Is this serving me? I can't be the best version of myself for this team right now. So I need to remove myself so they can bring in what they need. Because again, it's business.
Hmm.
This body is a business. That team is a business. And so a business decision had to be made. And I had to, yeah, protect my peace essentially.
Hmm. And protect your body and your asset and your business and choose yourself, all the things. Um,
Yes.
and, it's during a time and a shift a little bit on mindset around like what is possible in the off season for women's basketball players, like, especially with like
Yeah.
Unrivaled and Athletes Unlimited. Overall, I mean, 10 countries is a healthy career overseas to be proud of. It's also a cool life experience, but how do you reflect on your experience playing overseas and from like a macro mindset? Is it worth it for players? Like, should there be more options? Is this the way you see it continuing to go?
Yeah, great question. Totally think it's worth it. I've had so many beautiful life experiences, stories, people that I've met, people who call me their best friends in all these parts of the world. And I've been able to travel to again and see them in different seasons of life. Quick story, I needed a hair braider. I was playing in Russia in 2020. I go on Instagram trying to find a hair braider. I find a couple, a Russian couple. They come to the house, braid my hair, barely speak a lick of English, but we vibed and they became my friends. I didn't have friends or family out there, and I'm snowed in most of the time. They would come over, we would watch The Matrix. I would cook food because they never had like soul food or anything like that. And it's like those experiences are so enriching and just things that you can't buy experiences like that or make that type of stuff up. And so I've been able to have so many incredible experiences like that pour and fill into my cup. So I totally think it's worth it. I think it just depends on play which what the individual player because everyone has different
Hmm.
priorities. Some people want to get as much money as they can through playing basketball. And if you want that bag, overseas has that bag. At the same time, there's other players who might want to build stuff here in the stateside, and only play in the W or focus on, like you said, AU or Unrivaled. And that's cool too. Everyone has different priorities. So I just think it's about knowing what your priorities are. But me personally, I wouldn't change my experience for anything.
Hmm.
Like I said, I've been able to travel the world. I have connections all over the world. It's been so fruitful.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that also comes with an understanding of self, right? But only you would be in Russia bonding over soul food and braiding, and you managed to find a couple that hair braids together, speaking no common language, and it's just vibes. Like that's so Mo.
Vibe.
So okay, well that might be great preparation for what you're stepping into with your WNBA career. The first 6 seasons of your career were in Atlanta with the Dream.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
recently you've had a few stops. You've been with the Dallas Wings, the Phoenix Mercury, but the most recent one is like almost like a clean slate. This franchise is brand new. You're joining the
Yeah.
Golden State Valkyries. What does this stop and chapters signify in your career?
It's a restart. I'm so excited for this stop because it's not even a stop. I'm excited for this start, I should say. It's just something new. Yes, it's something new. So much to learn on both ends. This is a new franchise that wants to do it the right way. They're pouring into us as athletes, giving us the resources and allowing us to have an experience that all W players should be able to have. And so I'm already impressed, very grateful for that. And at the same time, like I'm going into year 8. I know in my career that I don't have 8 more years to go, right? Me personally, I probably could if I wanted to, but I know myself. I know that I don't want to play 8 more years. And so, me knowing that I'm in the second half of my career, I want to enjoy it. And it's just such a blessing to be able to be a part of history in a new situation in a city that I've never lived in. My parents are from here, so it's very full circle for me. So, like I said, it's a restart for me, and I'm very grateful and excited.
What is the legacy and respect that you feel you've established in this league over the course of now heading into your 8th season?
I would say the legacy that I hope to leave on people is that I just worked really, really hard. I was a hard worker and a good person. Those are the two things that I value most. Points, rebounds, all that stuff is cool. Obviously, I want to win and be great on the court, but the long-lasting impact is who you are as a person and how you're felt through all of the stops that you go through. And what I've learned is everyone's journey looks different. It's not always going to be a pretty picture, but it's a mosaic. For me, I've learned how are you impacting people along the way? If something last season, things didn't go how I would have wanted them to, but in hindsight, it went how it needed to, because if it didn't go that way, I don't think I would have this opportunity that I have
Mhm.
now. Placement is everything. Me being a woman of faith and just knowing and trusting that like God is going to put me where I'm meant to be. So if I'm in one market for a little bit, how can I positively impact that market, the people around me? How can I be a light for them? Because you never know who's watching you. You never know 20 years from now, people are going to say, Mo, you don't even realize, but the way you showed up as a pro every day, your mentality, your mindset, like that rubbed off on me so
Hmm.
much. And so I know that there's a bigger picture and a bigger reason for all of this that we're going through. Again, it's not just about the wins and the losses, but it's like, how are you being a light? How are you impacting people around me? And so I would say that's the legacy that I'd want to leave. That's my focus now as I'm in year 8.
Yeah, I mean, you are a light, and the Valkyries are so lucky to have you as they try to establish culture in year one. And you talk
Yeah,
about, the perspective you have, even to make it 8 seasons in the W is hard. There's just not a lot of
it
spots. They're
is.
just now expanding. Um,
Yeah.
what does it take to stick in the WNBA, especially as somebody who may not be an Olympian or a superstar, but they are a strong star on a team, a strong role player? And how hard is it to stick in this league?
I mean, first of all, I'm so lucky and I'm just so blessed. I've been in really good situations. And I feel like it's just situational for everybody. It helps if you play for coaches who like you. And that was my first years in Atlanta. My coach was high on me, really liked how I played. And that helps me a lot to stick. I think it's also about knowing what you bring to a team and bringing that every day, almost like having a niche. So for me, that's rebounding. That's my athleticism, my hustle. Those are my gifts that are natural to me. And if my shot's not falling or if whatever I might be going through, I know that I can rely on. That's my backbone. Like you're gonna get that regardless. So I think it's all about knowing what you bring. And again, like it's all about fit. How you stick on a team is if a team needs you and if you're able to fit on that
Mhm.
team. Those are the most important things. And again, everyone's journey kind of looks different. Sometimes it's ugly, but once you find that pocket where you stick and it's like, oh, this team needs me. I went through that last season. Wasn't the prettiest on paper, but I had my best season.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? I was on teams that needed what I brought, which was such a blessing. Being repositioned and having to pivot. aren't necessarily bad things. It might be looked at as a bad thing sometimes, but if it puts you in a situation where you're able to elevate yourself, at the end, it's a win. So I think it's all about knowing what you bring to a team, being a star in your role. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. And that's not just for basketball, that is for life. These are absolute bars. And in the face of adversity last season, sometimes you got popped in with a new team in the middle of the season and still had statistically excellent seasons. That's hard to do. So we are so excited to see friend to the show, our very own Monique Billings, do her thing with the Golden State Valkyries from a full season, from training camp on. We wish you the best of luck. And, you're gonna stick it out with us for another segment of the show, though, right? You ain't going nowhere.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm chilling. I'm cozy.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Appreciate you. Love you too.
Welcome back to Good Follow, presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Mo Billings is still with us after an incredible opportunity to just talk and chat one-on-one and have a little girl time, interview time, Mo. But before we jump into some fun, we have a game for you guys. We love games here.
We love a game.
We do want to break down the latest with the Valkyries and what they got done in the 2025 draft, especially when we have Valkyries players here. So Mo, help us kind of break down and do a draft recap for the Golden State Valkyries, Logan.
Well, the WNBA draft wrapped up, and the Valkyries were actually one of the top noisemakers, I guess, when they drafted Juste at number 5. And she's a 19-year-old guard from Lithuania, been making waves overseas since 13 years old. But y'all also picked up Cheyenne Sellers, 6'2" guard from Maryland. And I think my favorite part of the draft was Caitlin Chang getting drafted 30th overall. So actually, two-part question. A, have you met all of them? And B, who do you see making the biggest impact for the Valkyries this season?
Been able to meet all but Juste. She's still abroad right now. But Cheyenne and Caitlin came, I think, last week. And so we went to like a Warriors game, and it was cool being able to spend some time with my little Ricky babies. And you said, who do I think is going to make the biggest impact? That's a good question. I mean, let me get through one practice first and see how we're looking as a team, But I think both were both were steals in the draft, who are here stateside. And then Juste, when I think she's coming maybe next season. So I think she'll have some time to get her mind right. She got a whole year to figure out whatever she needs to before coming to the Bay. But I think all three were great choices. It's funny watching it. I had no idea really what direction they were going to go in. And so, yeah, I'm just excited to see how it all comes together.
Do you feel like it all fits the identity that's growing of this team?
I think so. I think the biggest thing Coach wanted is good people who work hard. From what I've seen on the court from all three of those ladies, totally see that. I think that's going to be our identity. Like I said, good people that work really, really hard.
Good hearts, big workers. Yeah, we love that. Are y'all ready to play a game?
I'm so ready.
So ready.
Let's play a game. We got Mo here, and guess what? We have a new game called the Good Follow Draft. It is the all motion edition. I love seeing a graphic. Okay, so the question here is, who got motion? All right, who got the juice? And so we've created our own all WNBA team, all motion team. We've got a draft and everything. And guys, I'm just looking at the rules here. This is a measure of off the court motion. Okay. Do you got that going? Visibility, attention, being a fashion killer, iconic moments that the people remember and gets them talking, bag securing, brand deals, rollouts, podcast launches, mogul talk, ownership, and just the overall captivation of their audience. So we talking about who got the motion, okay? Logan, take them through the rules.
So Ros Mo and I will each pick one active player from the categories, which are class of 2024 vets, WNBA royalty, and then we each get one sub to build out the all motion teams. But the key is, once a player gets drafted, they can't be taken again. So you really got to get that good pick in. Are y'all ready?
I'm
Yep.
ready.
All right, let's take a look at the board, starting with the 2024 rookies. Mo, you have the very first pick. Who are you going with?
First pick, I'm going Rakia. For a very
Ooh.
short time, she was my rookie when I was in LA. And I like just seeing how she's blossomed. I think she's blossomed a ton, stepping into just herself, the things she wants to do off the court. So I got Kia.
What about you, Roz?
Oh, I like that pick. Plus, Rakia, she got the Skechers, she got the Beats brand deals. She's, features in Slam. And I really think she popped out on Unrivaled, not only with her basketball play, but as far as off the court, just her arrivals and tunnel
Yeah.
fits. Like she really, I think I said it before on another show, get your Rakia stock now. Rakia stock's going up.
Yeah.
This is a tough one because the entire draft class of 2024 is like a game changer for the game of basketball. Like everybody's got crazy motion. That's why they got their own like segment. I think if you want to be with the biggest, the baddest, you got to be talking about Caitlin and Angel. And this is a tough one, but I just think like Angel's team deserves an award. Like, they are crushing it.
Super motion.
Super mega motion. She's drowning in motion. Like she got the podcast, she got the McDonald's Happy Meal. She bought herself a home recently, just announced, retired her mother. She did a Vogue cover, the Reebok collection, collaboration, all the things. Like Angel's motion is crazy.
Yeah.
What about you, Logan?
I'm actually going to take the other. I'm going with Caitlin Clark for this one. First of all, on the court, it's Caitlin Clark. We know exactly what she's doing. But off the court, I think she has motion in the same way, but she's kind of turning it into a businesswoman role. We've been seeing her on panels recently, doing stuff with the NFL and kind of following in the footsteps of Serena Williams. Like when she retires, she'll probably end up buying a team, kind of going that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't really seen that in the WNBA, so love to see it. And she's also starting to build her fits up. I'm finding that with each event, she's kind of escalating. Maybe she got a stylist. I don't know, but I'm going with Caitlin Clark for this one.
Nice.
Yeah, she's got a different vibe. Her and Angel do it different. They're both building empires, right?
Yeah.
Like clearly. I mean, for Caitlin, I'll just Nike deal, Gatorade, selling out arenas. Recently, it just showed that her Fanatics in jersey sales for the NBA, she's the number 2 selling jersey. She's not in the NBA after Stephen Curry. And then, number 1 in WNBA. And she was the Time Athlete of the Year. Like, respect to all of this. Cameron Brink, shout out to you, Stanford grad, just dropped a podcast.
And we got to shout out Kate Martin, too. She's my new teammate. So
Yes.
hopefully my girl doesn't get mad for me not picking her, but I love my girl, Kate.
No, and she has great motion, too, like unexpected, quiet motion. Like in the sense, like, did you know at one point last season, her jersey was number 4 sales in the WNBA?
Oh,
number 4.
Yeah, that's dope.
She was in the stands for the draft.
Yeah.
Wasn't even expected to get drafted. So she got motion, and shout out, we need some international flair with Camila Cardoso out of Brazil. So shout out to the class of 2024, an iconic class.
Well, y'all, moving on to the second group. Raj, you're up first this time. Who are you taking out of the vets?
Ooh, this is a tough one out of the veteran group. There's a lot, like well, first of all, our girl Mo Billings is in there. She's doing all the broadcasting, the Athleta longtime partnership there, the brand deals. Since you're here, I'm not going to pick you though. Sorry, sis.
Okay.
Probably the player who has the most motion at the moment. I don't know. Dijonai, I'm gonna go with my girl Dijonai Carrington right now. Dijonai just got the Reebok deal. She did the what you call it? The one size setting spray.
Yeah.
And we were all wondering, how does she keep her face so beat during the games? But I also think some of that's genetics. Like I could probably, but I'm gonna still buy the one size setting spray. And she's been a fashion killer. But I'd also say look at Satu Sabli with the Adidas partnership. That's huge.
Well, for this one, I'm actually gonna go with Sydney Colson. Purely because of her aura and her energy. I am absolutely obsessed with it, but she has been everywhere recently. I think she was with Yahoo for the March Madness, and some of the clips from that were so incredibly funny. But I think she's had motion for a while, but it's starting to build up, and obviously great addition to Indiana, so she'll pop off even more this year. But I love her so much. What about you, Monique?
That's a good choice. I'm going Tip Hayes. She was my
Ooh.
vet in Atlanta for 5 seasons. Now my teammate here at Golden State. Recently has created her own brand. I think it's called Soraya. It's a clothing brand.
Saya.
Saya? Okay. See,
Yes.
I'm over here messing it up. My bad tip.
No.
But super excited for her and her brand. I like the content that she's been putting out. I see her doing a lot more of that type of stuff. Obviously the clothes are fire. She's getting into the fashion space. Saw her the other day at practice. I'm like, what you doing for the rest of the day? She was like, I'm about to go do a photo shoot. I'm like, Tiffany Hayes doing a photo shoot? Like this is unheard of years ago. So I think she's stepping into new lanes and really getting into that new motion.
Motion and mogul talk, ownership of her own company, her own fashion brand. She's wearing her own designs. Shout out to Saya. And actually,
Saya.
she had the Boxer campaign too, the Boxer Brief company.
That's
And
that.
remember, it was actually Natasha Cloud who put a lot of motion on you say the poppies of the league. Don't forget the
Yeah.
poppies. So shout out to Natasha Cloud. Had a huge interview on the Pivot as well. Yeah, I will. Sid Colson, though, is really cool because you don't have to be a superstar to be big. Like her
Mhm.
personality permeates. She actually has her own shoes. She's doing commercials, national commercials, and
Yeah.
likes to coin herself face of the league. We love that motion. Okay.
Well, yeah, for the next group, Roz, you were just talking about being a mogul. And for the WNBA royalty, I'm actually going to go with Napheesa Collier because she is a businesswoman. She has so much motion with Unrivaled. They made absolute waves this year. And she was just named a Time Person of the Year, her and Stewie together. But I love what she's doing. I think that's a trailblazer move, a pioneer. She's going to be a pioneer in this space.
Well, you can't forget Stewie then, because she's a
Yeah,
co-founder
with
of
like
Unrivaled
mention to
too.
Stewie.
Right. With an honorable mention to Stewie. But you know,
Yeah.
both of them were just named to the Time 100 most influential people. Like not even
Mhm.
just like athletes, like people. And that is really significant, their historical impact on the way we look at women athletes in sports and leagues. So they definitely like they're just the motion is crazy right now for them. But I also got to point out Asia Wilson. Like duh, like duh.
Duh.
Um, Okay, so the A1 rollout, not only was it a cool signature shoe that was beautiful, but it was also very thoughtful. She thought about
Mhm.
who she was talking to, her consumer, in a way that a lot of times I feel like, quite frankly, a Black female audience hadn't been. Like the satin inside of the hoodie for your hair. I've never seen that before.
I like that.
I've never been thought of that way by a big time brand like Nike before. Recently she was just in Vogue like a couple days ago. Obviously the jersey retired in South Carolina, but maybe the cutest, and I'm gonna call it motion because it's also a part of lore, the hard launch of her love story. Here for it. I just see Asia right now. She seems to be glowing and happy and in an era of abundance. And
Mhm.
we love to see that for her. What about you, Mo?
Think that's great. I'm going Queen NECA just because I see the work that NECA has done, put this league on her back for a very long time. She's the president of the WNBPA, always so graceful and elegant, but so fierce on the court. You don't want to go against her. Motion wise, I see her stepping up her fit. When she
Yes.
posts on the gram, I'm like, okay, Neck, heard you.
Yes.
And Logan had mentioned businesswoman, I think with Caitlin Clark. I totally see that with NECA one day owning teams or I don't know, being the commissioner of the W one day. I see that for her. And
Mm.
so I just always have admired her motion.
Yeah. You know what? I'll piggyback that because Madame Presidente Nneka Ogwumike, that's also my sis.
Yeah.
And my teammate. I played with her at Stanford, and everything she's doing for me as someone who like has been alongside her, nothing about it is surprising. For me, I've enjoyed also seeing the personal growth, like you said, the expression of self through fashion. Her choosing her moments to share more of self when she
Yeah.
wants to, on top of because she's a natural caretaker. And I think so much of her life, whether it's been being the big sis of the Ogwumike girls or being the leader in the locker room or literally being the president and leader of the entire Players Association for the WNBA and getting you through a CBA or a pandemic or all these different things, like that's a natural state for her. And I'm excited to also see her grow out being kind and frilly with herself because she deserves it. Quick shout out to Sabrina Ionescu, just came off of her Asia tour. Her sneaker, the Sabrina's Nike sneaker, is one of the most successful sneaker launches of men or women's. It's everywhere. Every player is wearing it. We're talking about a champion, body armor, Home Depot, State Farm commercials. The things you mentioned for Caitlin Clark, she's got a lot of those types of brands and deals too. So all of these women are incredible businesswomen. And Skylar Diggins Smith, fashion killer, my favorite of them all. And of course, all the drops she's done with Puma. She's really been very creative with her line.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, sadly, we ran out of times to do the subs, but y'all, let us know who you're picking for that. And as for the team, Ros has Angel Reese, Dijonai Carrington, and Asia Wilson. Mo has Rakia Jackson, Tiffany Hayes, and Nneka Ogwumike. And I have Caitlin Clark, Sydney Colson, and Napheesa Collier. But coming up, I make my DK game pick of the week, and we have some quick hits for you. So we'll be right back. Welcome back to Good Follow. This segment is presented by DraftKings. This Saturday, Audi Field sets the stage for an intense match between Gotham FC and Washington Spirit. The Spirit have been on a roll after handing Orlando their first loss of the season with a huge 1-0 win. Their veteran striker Ashley Hatch is having an insanely good season, leading the league with 4 goals in 5 games. But on the other side, Esther Gonzalez for Gotham is also going crazy with 4 goals in 5 games as well. Washington is incredibly deep, and Gotham has been holding it down on defense, but I'm going to go with Washington to get the win at their home field of Rowdy Audi Stadium. This segment is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Oh, Logan, the crown is yours. When we get to this segment, I know it is time for our quick hits and headlines. So what do you got, Logan?
Well, speaking of the Spirit, they beat Orlando with an insanely bad, availability report. They're down 11 players, with 7 of them being super impactful and 1 questionable. Yeah, so this was like a huge win, but one of those players is Trinity Rodman, and she is out indefinitely seeking help for her back in London. So hope she's okay. Side note, she did make her WAG debut watching Ben in Germany. She looked amazing. But moving on, Paige Beckers was honored with a hometown day namesake. Hopkins, Minnesota is honoring her with a temporary renaming on May 16th. First thing I could think about is, what if a baby is born on that day? Are they going to be born in Paige Beckers, Minnesota?
Oh, I think that's even cooler. Paige Beckersville.
Right?
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. And we actually mentioned this earlier on in the show, but Caitlin Clark is number 2 in the WNBA and NBA jersey sales, outselling players like LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, and Jalen Brunson. The number 1 spot is, of course, Steph Curry, but having Caitlin up there with those players, insane. She got the motion.
She got that motion. And Logan, we got that motion, or we're trying to have the motion. But this was a show full of motion because we had our girl, Mo Billings, come and join us. Thank her so much for just always pulling up for us. And we thank you guys for coming and watching. Tell your friends, if you got to this point of the show and you haven't already, please subscribe, follow our socials, comment, like, all the things. It means a lot to us as we build this show out. We're having a lot of fun with y'all doing this. Logan, it's been great to see you, my girl.
You as well. Great show.
Yeah. And we do this every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, wherever you get your podcasts, or we drop on DraftKings Network or here on YouTube. That's the end of this show, but we will see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.